How do I word this properly? What somebody else's kids got to do with y'all is what I want to know.
Here's a cleaner, paraphrased version of the entire situation in about 2,000 words, written as one flowing narrative without headings, bold text, or dramatic YouTube voice filler. It keeps all the key details and timeline, but reads like a regular explanation. The internet has been in absolute chaos over the past few weeks surrounding DDG, Halle Bailey, their son Halo, and DDG's new girlfriend India Love. What started as typical celebrity relationship gossip quickly spiraled into something much heavier once fans began connecting timelines, old clips, court filings, and subtle and not so subtle hints that many now believe point to India Love being pregnant with DDG's child. Whether that part is actually true or not, the timing of everything has been so explosive that it pushed Halle Bailey to a breaking point she had been avoiding for months. To understand why Halle suddenly filed for sole custody of Halo on the very same day DDG posted romantic, prom-style photos with India Love, you have to go back a little. Halle and DDG's breakup earlier this year was messy behind the scenes. There were domestic violence allegations, restraining order requests, and a long stretch of court battles over their son Halo, who was born in late 2023. Just a few weeks before all this new drama erupted, Halle and DDG had finally come to what looked like a peaceful co-parenting agreement. They dropped the mutual restraining orders. DDG would get Halo on Wednesdays and certain weekends. Both agreed not to post the baby on social media anymore, and they promised not to publicly bash each other. It felt like the storm had finally calmed down. Then, almost overnight, everything flipped again. DDG started posting India Love heavily. We're talking couple goals, photo shoots in Italy, matching outfits, prom-themed pictures where they're dressed like they're going to senior prom together, the whole nine. At the same time, India began shifting her entire online presence. The girl who built her career on club appearances, provocative photos, and a very carefree image suddenly started talking about wanting stability, wanting to be a wife, wanting to start a family, getting closer to God, and now she's ready for a serious chapter. She went on streams crying about needing someone who will always be there for her, praising DDG for being a great father, calling him Moo or Big Moo in front of thousands of viewers, and even took him to church because he told her he admired her relationship with God. Fans noticed the change immediately. India went from twerking in the club one week to talking about marriage and motherhood the next. Her mood swings on stream became a topic of conversation, glowing 1 minute, emotional and teary the next, thanking DDG for gifting her hundreds of subs when she looked down. Comment sections filled with people saying she was giving pregnant energy, the soft voice, the sudden vulnerability, the way she kept touching her stomach or zoning out mid-sentence. Old clips resurfaced of her joking years ago about being pregnant with twins by 2 different fathers, and suddenly that prank didn't feel so funny anymore. Then came the receipts that made everything feel eerily familiar. People dug up the exact timeline. The moment India started openly saying she wanted to be a wife and mother was the same week DDG began treating her like his leading lady in public. She posted about desiring her own family and home. Days later, DDG was showering her with 6-figure shopping sprees and flying her out. She talked about wanting a man who would always be present, something Halle had quietly complained DDG wasn't during their relationship. India's own sister Morgan went live praising DDG for being respectful and protective of India at events. It looked to a lot of people like DDG was repeating the exact playbook he used with Halle: meet a beautiful famous woman, move extremely fast, get her pregnant, play happy family online for a while, then things fall apart once the baby arrives and the cameras aren't rolling. That's the part that hit Halle the hardest. She had spent her entire pregnancy hiding from the world, protecting Halo from the internet, trying to build something real with DDG away from the public eye. She gave him a child, went through a brutal court battle, and just when they seemed to reach peace, here comes another woman talking about starting a family with the same man, while Halo is barely a year old and still caught in custody negotiations. The tipping point came when fans began openly saying DDG was replacing Halo. Comments like "he's about to have a new baby and forget the first one" started flooding timelines. Threads compared Halo's first year, mostly private, barely any photos, to the way DDG was now parading India around like his new prize. People pointed out that DDG had barely posted Halo since the breakup, yet he was posting India multiple times a day. The optics were terrible. Then DDG himself slipped up on stream. While trying to downplay the relationship and call India just a close friend, he accidentally said, "We started off as close friends, and then you turned into my girlfriend," caught himself mid-sentence, and went silent. That clip spread like wildfire because it confirmed what everyone already suspected. This wasn't a casual rebound. This was serious, and it had been serious for longer than he was admitting. India didn't help calm the rumors either. She kept leaning into the family woman narrative. She talked about cleaning up her image, doing better, making mistakes, but trying. She addressed old scandals like the 2021 accusation that she knowingly dated a married man and framed it as part of her growth. She told her chat she never claimed to be a role model, but that she's working on herself now. To some, that sounded like a woman preparing for motherhood and stepping into a more public, blended family role. Meanwhile, Halle stayed silent publicly, which is her style. She doesn't clap back on social media or give interviews about her personal life. But the same day DDG dropped those loved-up prom photos with India, Halle quietly went back to court and filed for sole custody, asking to limit DDG to supervised visitation only. The timing was impossible to ignore. She had just agreed to joint custody and no more court drama, and within weeks she was back asking a judge to drastically reduce his time with Halle. Legal analysts say you don't make a move like that unless something major has shifted behind the scenes, something that makes you believe the current arrangement is no longer in the child's best interest. Fans put the pieces together. Halle wasn't reacting to random gossip. She was reacting to a pattern she had already lived through. She watched DDG move on at lightning speed, watched another woman position herself as the new matriarch before the ink was dry on their co-parenting agreement, and watched the internet speculate that her son was about to be replaced by a newer model. Even if India isn't actually pregnant, and there has been no official confirmation either way, the perception alone was damaging. The idea that DDG could be starting a second family while still fighting over the first one was too much. The saddest part is that Halle is the one caught in the crossfire. He's too young to understand any of this, yet his entire existence has become fodder for blogs and comment sections. His mother spent months shielding him from cameras, and now strangers are debating whether his father is about to give him a half-sibling he'll barely know because the parents can't get along. At the end of the day, no one outside their inner circle knows the full truth. India may or may not be pregnant. DDG may just be young, reckless, and moving too fast again. Halle may be overreacting to protect her child, or she may have very real reasons to worry about DDG's consistency as a father once a new baby enters the picture. What is undeniable is that the timing of everything, the prom photos, the custody filing, India's sudden family talk, DDG's slip-ups, the resurfaced clips, created a perfect storm. And in the middle of that storm is a little boy who deserves stability, privacy, and two parents who can at least pretend to be civil for his sake. Whether this is just another case of the internet connecting dots that aren't really there, or whether there's fire behind all this smoke, one thing remains clear. Halle Bailey reached her limit. She's done playing nice, while the world watches her ex build what looks like a brand new family on the ashes of the one they barely had time to start. And until someone in that situation speaks plainly, the speculation, the timelines, and the heartbreak will keep swirling.